When you think of martial arts, you probably picture ancient Japan, feudal China, a misty forest, and a silent warrior perfecting his form. But 2,000 years ago, long before dojos and black belts, there were fighters of a very different kind. Not monks, not ninjas, gladiators. Trained, conditioned, deadly, and surprisingly, technical. These weren't just wild brutes thrown to the lions. Well, sometimes lions, but mostly each other. Gladiator fights were brutal, but not the all-out death matches Hollywood loves to show. Most of the time, they didn't fight to the death at all. You don't spend months training someone just to lose them in round one. That's just bad business. They trained in Ludi, gladiator schools. Imagine a UFC gym, but with fewer protein shakes and a lot more yelling in Latin. They lifted weights, sparred, ate high-carb diets to build stamina. Ancient Rome's version of bulking season. Some even became celebrities. We're talking fan mail, graffiti, groupies. One guy named Salatus got tagged on a wall in Pompeii for making all the girls sigh. The man was a Roman thirst trap with a trident. Now here's where things get interesting. Each gladiator had a specific fighting style, not random chaos. This was structured, strategic combat. The murmillo, heavy armor, shield, short sword, basically a walking tank with anger issues. The retiarius, net, trident, no helmet. Fast, flashy, and just a little bit unhinged, like if Aquaman snapped. The Thraex, curved sword and tiny shield, agile, nimble, and probably really annoying to fight. And the Secutor, designed specifically to counter the retiarius. Because even in ancient Rome, petty matchups were a thing. They trained for footwork, timing, angles of attack. Honestly, if they had YouTube back then, they'd have millions of subs. Martial arts isn't just about hitting things. It's about mindset, respect, ritual. And yes, even gladiators had that. They saluted before fights. They followed rules. Some even spared their opponents, out of honor, or maybe just because they liked living. Their fights weren't for conquest or revenge. They fought to perform, to entertain, and to survive. Discipline, focus, repetition. That's not just combat. That's martial arts. Even if your dojo was an arena filled with 50,000 screaming Romans. Let's be real. Gladiators trained like pros. Daily workouts, sparring sessions, tactical matchups, style versus style. They prepped mentally. They learned to read an opponent. They respected the craft. Sound familiar? It should, because that's the same DNA we see in modern-day martial arts. Krav Maga, MMA, judo, boxing. No belts, no gis. But you better believe they earned their stripes. When you're dodging a trident in a bronze helmet, you don't need a black belt to prove you've made it. The Roman Empire fell, but the spirit of the gladiator never disappeared. Combat sports, stage fighting, historical fencing, they all owe something to the Roman arena. Structured combat, performance under pressure, skill as spectacle. The gladiator wasn't just a brawler. He was a martial artist of his time, a student of movement, a master of range, a warrior with purpose. So next time you step into a dojo or watch a fighter bow before a match, remember this. Not all martial traditions wear robes. Some wore sandals, some carried nets, and some fought with everything they had, because the sand beneath their feet was history. This is Dojo Archives, where the past fights back. Subscribe now, or risk getting netted by a retiarius in your sleep.